Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce week 5 to you all. Week 5 is September the 16th. September the 10th through September the 16th. You're looking at how adjectives are used to describe physical appearance, nationality, and some of your personality traits. You're also looking at telling time and the verb estar, okay? You're going to want to study pages 38 to 50 and review pages 18 to 37. At the end of this week, you should be able to describe your physical appearance, your nationality, and some of your personality traits to others, as well as you should be able to tell time. You should also know what the verb estar means and how to conjugate it and when to use it. All of these assignments address student learning outcomes 1 and 2, and they're due on the 13th of September. You want to start the way that we start each week by looking at your instructor-made videos. Since we are an in-seat class, you may not need to look at all of the videos. You can just, look at each one and see if there's information in there that you need to review. Okay, then when you're done, you want to open up the class participation form, click on the thread, hit reply, and post any questions or concerns you have about the material either covered in class or covered in the videos. Okay. We also have our second test on the second half of chapter 1, and that's to be completed in class. Okay. So we will complete test 2 on the second half of chapter 1 in class 914 if you are in my Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, and if you are in a Tuesday, Thursday class, we'll be taking this test on the 13th. Okay. You also have assignment 7 where you're going to visit my language labs. You're going to click on the alarm clock and complete these various SAM activities. So if you go out into my language lab, okay. So if you're out in my language labs, you're going to want to click on the assignment calendar. Okay, sorry about that. I was in instructor view. You'll want to go out to my language labs and actually click on assignments and then click on the course calendar. And then you're going to want to go over to September and you'll want to click on the 13th and your assignment should pop up here. And you can click on them and complete them. And remember that you need to complete, you can do each assignment as many times as you would like before the due date. But if you're struggling, if you've done it more than 3 times and are struggling, then you want to reach out to me for additional help. Okay. So test 2, this is what test 2 is going to look like, and we'll take it in the classroom. ¿Qué hay en el escritorio? Your classmate is helping you review classroom vocabulary. You're going to listen to the statement that she makes and then decide whether the statement is, whether those statements are true or false based upon what you see in the picture. So you see these various items on the table in the picture, and then I'm going to read statements to you. And if what I read in statement 1 says, for example, there's 1 computer on the table, then you would circle cierto. If I said there are 2 computers on the table, then you would circle falso. Okay. Here, this one says los objetos en la clase. You purchase flashcards with pictures on them, but some of them are blank. Fix the problem by writing the word that corresponds to each item. So this is just vocabulary. You see the items pictured, and you're just going to write out in Spanish what that item is. You do not need to include an article like an el, a la, or un, or una, because it's already been given. Okay. Then you have a reading selection. You're going to read this paragraph about la clase de la profesora Rivera, and then you're just going to answer these questions. They should be answered in Spanish because we're in Spanish class, but we are level 1 and we haven't done that much with our verbs, so it doesn't need to be a complete sentence. So if it asks you like the color of the chalkboard, you can just simply say green or black in Spanish, verde, verde, negra, blanca, whatever it is, okay? Here, los pronombres de sujeto. Matthew, a beginning Spanish student, wrote a short letter to a new friend to practice the verb ser. However, he forgot to include the subject pronouns. Help him by filling in the appropriate subject pronouns in his letter. So you're filling in the blanks with tú, usted, él, ella. That's what goes in the blanks here. La forma correcta de ser. Learn some characteristics of the following people and things by completing the sentences with the correct form of the verb ser. So this is where, remember that in English, when we want to conjugate verbs, like if I have the verb run, I simply put a pronoun most of the time in front of it, like I run, you run, he runs, and that's how we know who's doing the running. In Spanish, they changed the spelling of the verb. So you need to identify who or what the sentence is about, and then make the spelling of ser match who or what the sentence is about. Okay, here practicamos los artículos indefinidos. Indefinidos are un, una, unos, unas. So that's what you're plugging in here. You're going to plug in un, una, unos, or unas. And then here, sabes formar el singular y el plural. After carefully writing some sentences to describe the things in your classroom, you notice that you miscounted. Rewrite each of the following sentences, changing them from singular to plural or from plural to singular. So remember, what I would do when you're doing this piece is find the noun, like lápices, make it singular. If it's plural, you find the noun. If it's plural, make it singular. If it's singular, make it plural. And then anything that's used to describe that noun also has to get changed. Like, for example, in that first one, it's saying the pencils are yellow. You have to change it to the pencil is yellow. So all the other words have to change because your pencil changed, okay? And that's what you should do for the rest of them as well. Descripciones de la clase. Fill in the blanks with in the following paragraph with a logical adjective from the word bank. So you're going to read through the paragraph and plug in the words. Remember that adjectives agree with the nouns they describe. So if you're talking about sillas, and that's a feminine plural word, then the adjective you use cannot be masculine singular. It's got to be feminine and plural. Descripciones de estudiantes. Complete the descriptions of these university students with the correct word from the word bank. So just read through the sentences and then decide which of these words would best complete the sentence. And that's everything you have to do for the test, and that's everything you have to do for this week.